Greetings and welcome to Africa Online Media Corporation. It is our pleasure to welcome you to the show today, and we know that you are doing well in your neighborhood. Out here in the United States, where we are broadcasting from, Bowie in Maryland, actually, the temperature is in the 90s, and they're telling us that there may be a thunderstorm tonight or later this evening. We are just keeping our fingers crossed. It is Africa Online Media Corporation, as I just said, and it is a very hot day. Very hot, yes. When we hear of 90 degrees Fahrenheit, it means it is really, really hot. How is it in your neighborhood? How is it in where you live? We'll go straight to our day's reflection. Our topic today, we all must have seen during the week you went on the WhatsApp group, is men's health, men's mental health, a crucial, important topic. It is a pleasure always to welcome you, and we look forward to having a great show. It is, as I said, the month of June. It is actually the 29th day of June. It is the 180th day of the year 2025. We are virtually at the end of this 6th month of the year. That calls us and reminds us that we're almost in the middle of 2025, but we still have 185 days left for the year to get so close to its end. Today, as I said, is the 26th Sunday rather of 2025 on a 27th week count using the United States standard week number calculations. Today is the 10th day of summer. Well, if you live in the Northern Hemisphere, that leaves us with 85 days before we go to the season that is called fall, one of the 4 seasons in the Northern Hemisphere. June has been a great time to honor men in general, celebrate fathers in particular, and would-be fathers and foster fathers and all the rest of the fathers, and of course, spotlight the health challenges most men face. The overriding purpose during that time, during this past 1 month, has been to encourage men to take proactive steps toward being better fathers and ensuring their personal well-being and being better human beings all the same. Social media and most experts tell us that for too long, conversations around men's well-being and health, especially mental health, have been pushed aside. Yet, we know that certain things, like the high suicide rate, is more prevalent among men than among women. Whether we see it as a health problem or just a social challenge, men's health, especially mental health, is one of the most widely recognized international issues today. And so, June is not just Men's Health Month, it also lays emphasis on men's mental health. And when you hear mental, please don't think of that word C-R-A-Z-Y. No, mental health does not mean that. It also lays special emphasis on men's mental health, that is, their mental well-being, being good upstairs without being crazy. This growing concern is seen as a cultural change, as more men and those who care about them are speaking out more openly than ever before about men's health and challenging the stigma that warrants action to support mental wellness. The theme for the 2025 Men's Mental Month is Closing the Empathy Gap, which aims at addressing societal barriers that prevent men from seeking help and prioritizing their mental health. Africa Online Media Corporation therefore participates in raising the awareness about men's mental health by having this live discussion to which we invite our audience. Silence shows an apparent lack of interest in helping victims learn more about a problem which requires collective, active action. I conclude this contribution with an invitation. Men's mental health needs all voices to be heard as our in-house medical expert, His Excellency Dr. Nicholas Santos, will attest when our discussion calls on him. For now, the chair of AfricaOnline Media Corporation will welcome all of us to the show, to the discussion, as we turn around and look at the last medical topic for the month of June, it's usually at the end of the month. And we say, Your Highness, the microphone is yours. I know we can't see your face. We may not, but then no problem. You are in the house.
Oh my God, Niason, you are something else. Thank you so much, Mr. Asong Lefan Kemleke, the legend himself. You never fail. And excuse me, on behalf of AfricaOnline Media Corporation, now management team, I'd like to welcome all our viewers, those who are watching live on YouTube, and those who are going to watch later on Facebook. And I want to welcome everyone who's on here. Our co-anchor, Ambassador Lisa, is at an event, so she will not be on today. But I also want to welcome Sister Debbie. Well, there are two Debbies, Debbie McCormick and Debbie Wilborn, Dr. Crosslin. We have two special guests that are invited today, Dr. Jing and Dr. Bill, who are joining us for the first time. They are going to be future guests on this program. So I invited them to just join and see. The program is unscripted, by the way. So Dr. Santos, we are glad to have you back. You know, you are in-house. You've been with us for 9.5 years. So you are forgiven for the two times you did not show up. So, but we know that your mental health is intact. But a lot of our men, and not just like women, have mental health issues and children. But the month of June, we normally dedicate it to our men. And as you know, for 9.5 years, every last Sunday of the month, we've tackled a health topic. So, Dr. Santos, I don't come any better than you. So we are going to, for those who are joining us for the first time, just take a minute and briefly introduce yourself, and then we're going to hand the mic. Well, then we're going to give the mic to Niason to pose the first question. For those who are joining us for the first time, this program is unscripted. So Dr. Santos, please kindly briefly introduce yourself, and then we'll go to Niason to pose the first question.
Yeah, thank you, Ambassador. Thank you, Reverend Pam. Thank you, fellow viewers. I'm Dr. Nicholas Santos. I'm a clinical psychologist, and I'm a mental health practitioner. And I am based in the East Coast, precisely West Virginia. I think I'm not a new person in this program. And I basically know that most of you know my credentials. So that's all I have to say. And we'll discover more in the course of the program. We'll get to know each other again. Thank you.
All right. Dr. Santos, you also forgot to mention that you're a man. Remember, we're discussing men's mental health, but that's okay. All right. Thank you so much. So, Niason, Niason, I'm going to hand over the mic to you to pose the first question.
Yeah, Dr. Santos, you are welcome back to the program. You're always one of us, and we'll never forgive you when you go away and don't say goodbye. If you are going, just sneak out, but sneak in before we notice it. That said, when we talk of mental health, as I said in my reflection, people think of being good upstairs. Are we C-R-A-C-Y? Are we Z-Y, right? Not Z-Y. Are we crazy? Does it mean mental health has to do with being crazy or something, being mad or something? We want Dr. Santos to place us in the right context so we know what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's a very good question. When we talk of mental, most of us, especially who came from communities that had a very high level of stigma, will look at it as crazy. crazy, like the person eating from the trash, the person humming, speaking by himself, putting on clothes of mismatched clothes with clothing with mismatched colors, and that is just a one particular diagnosis among the category of mental health disorders, which is schizophrenia. Those people belong to a particular class, schizophrenia. Those are the people who manifest those symptoms. And among schizophrenia, you have different categories. There's the organized type, there's the disorganized type, there's the catatonic type, and there's the residual type, which is 4. But when we talk of mental illness as a whole, we talk about someone's or a person's overall emotional, psychological, and social well-being that affects how the person work, how the person think, how the person feel, and how the person act. It plays a crucial role on how individuals handle stress, how an individual relate to others, or make choices in life. What about judgment? Yeah, if you watch a human's capacity to make judgment, some people make very, very unsensible decisions, or they may make very wrong choices because of their judgment capacity that is impaired. How the individual relate to others, like interpersonal relationships, relationship with their peers, relationship with their colleagues, relationship with your siblings, relationship with your wife, your husband, your classmates at school. Some people have some problems in the relationships. They have problems almost everywhere. When someone begins to have problem everywhere, then we need to check out for that person's mental health. When somebody has mood swings, in the morning you're happy, in the moment you are careful, the moment you're loving, you're smiling. One moment you feel like you are high, another moment low. So when you see someone suffering from those, you feel like every time you're suffering from those, then you need to do a mental health check. So it's not about crazy, as we say, it's about your emotional, psychological, social well-being, how you feel, and how you act, and how you relate to others. I'm taught that we say someone has mental health issue only when significance, which means that you have problems in most of these areas that interfere with your daily functioning. If the way you think, the way you act, the way you feel, the way you relate to others becomes of critical significance, in the sense it's not adding up. It's not adding up in a lot of areas. Then we think that you need to do a mental health check. And how do we do that? We have to do that through carrying out a mental health interview, or a psychological evaluation, or you need to meet a practitioner or a clinician, or someone who knows how to do assessment, to assess for mental health, to evaluate your mental health. A clinician obviously be looking at your mood, your anxiety, your interest in life and other things, how you relate to others, how you interact with others, the choices you make, your judgment, how you feel. You look at it, and there's what we call global assessment of functioning scale. The global assessment of function. When it's over 100. So we look at it, we check it, and we see the lower you go, the more attention you deserve, and the more treatment you want. So in a nutshell, I don't want to go.
Dr. Santos, sorry, your audio keeps breaking. I don't know if others can hear you, and can you guys hear him clearly? Because from my end,
from time to time, it's breaking up.
Okay, so
is it my look? Well, let me see. Can you guys hear me now? Well,
yes, now it's better.
Keep going.
Okay. So as I was saying, I don't know if they heard all what I said before.
No, we heard
but
you.
We heard.
Let's proceed. Yeah, don't
yeah,
repeat what you said. Yeah.
I was saying that I was going to give some room for other questions because I don't want to like talk for too much or
Yeah.
for so long when I'm not giving gap for people to react.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Dr. Santo, I was going to ask you this question. Do those things not look like the ebbs and flows in life, the good days and the bad days in every human being's life? Should they be considered mental? Should they be so serious as, or how serious should they be before we consider them as mental?
Yes, normally every individual has an iota of mental health. That's why we say that there is no health without mental health, which means that we only classify someone to be suffering from mental health issue if it does interfere with the individual's daily functioning. It is normal. You should be tearful when you hear about someone passing. You know, but it's very abnormal for someone just to sit and cry. Yeah, and without reason. And then if you also have problems everywhere relating with others, for example, you cannot keep a job because of your approach with your co-workers. You cannot keep a home because of your approach with your wife or husband and children. You cannot keep everything. You're having problems everywhere. You know, that means that there is a problem that has to be evaluated with you. And you sometimes you may feel, I mean, it's normal that every individual should have some little bit iota of mood swing, yes. But if it becomes rampant and becomes of clinical significance in the sense that it is interfering with your other areas of life, you're sleeping more than you can sleep. You are overeating or undereating. You are like withdrawing. You're withdrawing, practicing self-withdrawal, isolating. You are doing things that are not normal. Yeah, and you are not going to work. You are not reporting to work at the time you are supposed to report to work. You are not taking care of the kids as you ought to take care of them. You are not maintaining your hygiene as you ought to maintain your hygiene. You are having unkempt hair, shabby attire on you, on trim nails, and other things. You need to do a mental evaluation for a clinician or an expert to assess where things are going wrong. So that's where we say that your mental health is a little bit at risk at that time.
So is it really an illness, or is just, as you use the word, mood swing?
It is an illness.
Okay.
It's an illness.
Okay.
And amongst mental health as a whole is an umbrella term for all those things that affect us emotionally, psychologically, socially. Then we have the particular acronyms that are given to particular manner of behavior.
Okay, I will invite other participants to unmute, especially Ms. Debbie McCormick and Dr. Gloria. Please, you will be the first to be called on, and then later Sister Deborah Weber. So please, we'll start with Debbie from Debbie McCormick. Actually, we wanted to start with her if she unmutes to find out if she has a question for Dr. Santo before we continue the discussion. If not, whoever is ready to speak, please unmute and let's go with you. Okay. Ms. Deborah McCormick. Sister Debbie, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Ni-Asong. Good afternoon, greetings, and welcome to Honorable Dr. Nicholas. It's good to have you again on the platform. Yes, we truly missed you the last time. So I have a very quick question for you. When you talk about mental health, does that not include everything? Everything is put together, right? Including how the men think, but also including how they view themselves. Like those who are in denial that they should do PSA tests to see where they are in the level of their health, those from 39 or 40 plus, how do we get to sensitize those individuals who are in that age group that are in denial to get checked because they feel that they're young, they're strong, they're intelligent, and they know everything about their lives without necessarily getting the approval from their health practitioners to take such decisions into their hands. Thank you.
Dr.
Yeah.
Santos, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's a very good one. Yeah, denial. It's obvious that most of those who are suffering from mental illness or those who have those challenges are often in denial. Denial is one of the principal symptoms of mental health itself, because majority of people who are always having this crisis, be it emotional crisis, psychological crisis, anxiety crisis, even suicidal crisis, most of them refuse to seek help. And then there is also the challenge among the younger age group, especially the teenagers. In my career, one of the major courses I took was working with difficult teens, the teenagers, the teenage group. That's between 11, classified teenage group in lifespan development from the ages of 11, yeah, going up to 21. Most of them in this category would think that everything they're doing, their judgment is right. And also, like our society today, which has a lot of negative things that are being practiced on social media and other places, and they take something that is outrageous to be a new normal. Yeah. Anyhow, it's true that most of these people will refuse to have to go for evaluation. Will even when there will be their school counselor, for example, may point out that this child needs intervention. The parents will also point out that this child, this teenager needs intervention or evaluation, and they will resist. They will resist. But the good thing is that in our schools today, we have the IEP, the Individualized Educational Program, which used to single out some of them with certain behaviors that mimic symptoms of mental health, to put them in particular classrooms whereby their conditions are being examined for some time. Yeah, so I think the school systems are doing a lot of work to assist practitioners, especially among those teenagers and kids who are resistant to evaluation and resistant to treatment. And then parents are also, sometimes the parents are the whistleblowers. The parents are the whistleblowers in the sense that they call the attention to the school authorities and to us to make some interventions. And what about the Department of Health? The Department of Health also is doing a great job in this country, particularly in America, because they have programs, even for free, that is offered to some of these parents and some of these kids and teenagers who are going through issues, through crisis. So I think that should answer your question. If not, I can stay away in on another area if it's forgotten. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Santos. Just a quick question. Can you also expand to, you just answered in relation to teenagers. How about those who are in their late 30s, going to their 40s, who do not want to seek medical care because they're healthy and do not want to follow the primary care physicians, especially those from the global south who feel that they're strong enough. Okay, I just had a baby. There's no need for me to go and check on my PSA. My mental health is okay. I'm fine. I'm doing okay. Between the ages of 37 and 45, what advice would you give to those individuals in that age group? Thank you.
Okay. The one great thing that our society faces today is how to acknowledge that there is no health without mental health. Everyone is supposed to do a mental health check at one point in time or the other. Even us, the practitioners, we were obliged to carry out our own individual therapy, our own individual evaluation to see if you are fit for the career and to see if you can cope with it. Because to be attending to people's problems when you have your own problems, it can be very challenging. So some of us, even in this career, do face burnout. So not to talk of the common man or those people who are between the ages of 30 upward, who will resist or who will deny to do a mental health evaluation or a check. Let me tell you that it's very important for each and every one of us at times to watch out for our own mental health, because in the nowadays we have a lot of these people between this age bracket who refuse to pay attention to their mental health, and then down the road is mistaken for criminality. For example, they may commit an offense repeatedly, like driving under influence, uh, domestic violence, workplace-related issues like kleptomania and other issues. Or even what about rape?
Even sexual harassment.
Sexual harassment.
Bullying. Good job.
So they find themselves in this criminality issue. They are being criminalized, whereas underneath is a hidden mental health issue. So when they only come to us when it's late, when they already have maybe they are facing a court case is coming up, and then they say, if someone is nice to tell them, go see a psychologist, go see a psychologist for an evaluation. Have you ever done an evaluation? And I'm happy with the US court judges and most judges today. They take very seriously our evaluations, because we may unpack a lot of things that was running along. For example, some had become alcoholic because of marital issues. Some had decided to involve in gambling, pathological gambling. Others had become, resorted to stealing, to shoplifting, and other things that were not noticed until when they were caught, that there was a mental health issue. You have to check on what was actually going on in that home. Was it peaceful? How was his behaviors at home? Was he being good to his children and to his family? How was his relationship with others at the workplace? What does his colleagues at the workplace say about his behaviors of late? Was it like this? Was it like this before? He maybe have been working for 20 years and have a very good record. And then out of a sudden, something just happened. There must have been a trigger that just made the person's world has become so contradictory, So a mental health practitioner will be unpacking all these things and looking at it through a comprehensive psychological evaluation, with comprehensive mental health diagnosis.
Antonia, hold it there. We will be right back. I want to recognize the presence of Dr. Kingsley Ogoji, one of our medical doctors in the house. But before I call on him, I want to recognize Dr. Gloria Crosslin. Her hand has been up for the past 7 minutes. So Dr. Crosslin, please unmute and post your question or make your comment.
Oh my God, Nia, so you left the beauty queen hands up for 7 minutes. She must be having some muscle pains right now.
I love the number. I love the number
I'm so
7.
sorry,
I love
Nia,
the number 7.
to
So I was counting the minutes.
Oh no, because the timing is always perfect because it's unscripted. Check this out, guys. Well, welcome everybody, even the global audience, and Dr. Ogoji, and the guest speaker who is speaking, and all of the honorable Debbies, and to Professor Nia-san, and to everybody else that I can't see, and to especially Her Excellency Dr. Pam. So this is my comment. Okay, I get that men and women are different, but you know what? They are merging because men used to drive aggressively, but older white women are driving just as aggressively nowadays. So And then, okay, that's the white people. Now let's talk about mental health for Black people. When it's a Black person and a white person with mental health issues or crime, they don't normally let the Black person or give the Black person an out, like, okay, it's a mental health issue. But if it's a white person, they're like, oh, it's a mental health issue. And for a Black person, if they have a mental health issue, crime is crime. They just leave the whole mental health issue out of it. But my question on a lighter side is, okay, speaking of how good I look, I'm going to be 66 years old.
Oh,
And
wow.
I know my birthday's next month. Okay, well, after the first, then it's next month. All right. So I was in Dunkin' Donuts and I was dressed in boots and I had on some garters and I looked really cute. And I noticed some Black guys checking me out. And I'm like, okay, well, I was concerned about their mental health.
Oh my God.
I'm like,
Mental health. Men do that.
why do they do that, guest speaker? Why do men make it noticeable and just get all excited? Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Dr. Santos, before you answer that question, you see, Dr. Crosslin is calling you a guest speaker because you have been missing in action. So, Dr. Crosslin, this is our in-house clinical psychologist, but he's been missing. That's why you think he's a guest speaker. So, Dr. Santos, if you don't want to be referred to as a guest anymore, make sure you count yourself present. Go ahead.
Yeah, first of all,
answer her question. Answer her question, please.
I happened to have missed 2 sessions, and it looked like I missed a week. So,
Well, the show is unscripted. Go ahead. Go ahead and answer her question. Why the men were checking her out?
The first I would say is that men have a very high sense of admiration, any beauty. So the point is, the way the ladies also dress these days, so charming and beautiful, and all kind of makeups and hairstyles and kind of things may attract people to look. So when they look, it's not that they have mental health issue; they're just appreciating nature and appreciating beauty. So we should not say that they have mental health issue. No, it's just admiration, I think, and it's typical of men when they see beautiful and someone looking beautiful, because she described how she was dressed. She was putting on a nice boot and was definitely pulling the eyes of many, so, and the attention of many. So when men, I think if you look without touching, because somewhere we're having a conversation, someone said, you can be put to jail for overlooking. You can, but don't look too much, Sometimes you have to make good use of your eye contact, not like you're focusing on a particular individual for a very long time, So I don't know the way they were looking at her, but I think that she must have been dressing very nice and carrying a good aura around that this man just wanted to look. Yeah.
Dr. Santa, just to add to that, there's also the looking, but there's also the whistling or the comments that people make. They may make and then they start laughing, something like that. But I'll let you take a sip of water while I introduce Dr. Ogoji, or I bring in Dr. Ogoji. I know I'm defining my own setup that I did, but Dr. Ogoji, you're welcome to the show. Well, why do men tend to look at those things that they see around them? I know my religious studies teacher said, when we see things like that, we'll go home and give praise to the Almighty for creating a beautiful thing.
Oh my God.
Dr. Ogoji.
My take on this, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, welcome.
My take on this, okay? Dr. Crosslin, if a young lady dressed like you looks so pretty and walk down the streets of a busy street with men left and right, and nobody look at them, they go home and say, do I have poop on my bottom? So it goes both ways. So ladies like to be appreciated.
Yes.
So I've seen a girl who I've actually thought she's so cute and walk around and came back and say, can you imagine nobody talked to me while walking down the street? So be grateful somebody look at you, and as long as they don't touch, it's okay. It's okay to look. It's not
That's
mental
right.
health.
Yeah.
All right, let me jump in. Dr. Goji, we want to hear your take on men's mental health. Then, Niasa, we have to go to our other participants. So,
Yeah,
Dr. Goji, give us from your stand as a medical doctor. We know you're not a psychiatrist, but you're a medical doctor. So, we want to hear from you.
Okay, men's mental health. I mean, mental health is a very big problem in the community. Unfortunately, men don't cry. We try to act tough. So a man will be angry, and then will be feel depressed. He will not seek help. It's a result to either alcohol or more risky behavior, going out, staying late at night, drinking or smoking, to do all sorts to manage his mental health. Unfortunately, we are all human. Life is full of stress. We all have some element of depression sometime in our life. We all have things that that can break us down sometime in our life. What matters is how do we handle it. So if a man is very depressed, that's affecting their work. They would start going late to work, leaving work late, affecting their relationship with their children, their family, their driving habit. That's serious. They need to seek help. They help the men. Most men will go start drinking alcohol. Alcohol will solve the problem temporarily until alcohol wears off. And then if they start doing that on and on, it becomes a habitual. Get depressed, take alcohol, feel happy, get depressed, feel happy. And the amount of alcohol you're gonna drink to feel happy every subsequent time you feel sad is usually more and more and more to become chronic alcoholic. Then it makes matter worse now that the money they should take care of their children now end up in alcohol and things like that. Then they're in trouble. They can't really handle things the right way. So I think it's time for us to really focus on men's health. I'm glad we're doing this now. And I tell the women in this show and the women listening, always check on the mental health of the men and encourage them to go seek help when they need to, because they will never go seek help.
And on that, I'll go to another
true.
woman on the show, Sister Debbie Wilburn, please. You've been waiting in the wings. So, Sister Debbie Wilburn, please unmute and join us. Yeah, welcome.
Thank you. Mental health has been an issue for a while, and we have to look at it from a different perspective, as everybody's been saying, especially with men. Men tend to hold everything in because that's the way they were taught, that they're not supposed to show their feelings, that they have to be the stronger person. Some women have that same issue, not that they were taught they shouldn't cry, but because they were told, be quiet, don't say nothing, keep it to yourself. We hold it in, and it affects us mentally. And sometimes we don't even know that we're being affected.
Thank you, Sister Debbie.
Oh, okay.
You're
Thanks.
welcome.
That being said, I see Mr. Jing Thomas. Can you weigh in, please? Your take. We're only 3 men on this show, or 4 men now.
What do you mean by 4? There are 5 of you. What are you talking about? You say only. There are more men than women today. You should be happy.
There are usually more women than men in this thing. So, Mr. Jane, please unmute and join us if you have a question or a comment to add to our discussion.
Dr. Jane, can you unmute yourself? Is he muted?
Yes, he's muted.
Yes. The other guest is Dr. Bill.
Okay.
So I invited Dr. Jane. Can you weigh in?
There he is. Yeah, please. We wanted you to weigh in to your contribution on the show, please.
Okay, I would like to greet everyone present, and thanks for this invitation. I think this is my first time of participating in this show, and probably just I hope it will continue, throughout. Well, when it comes to the mental health issue, where do we classify autism? Is it a mental health problem, does it have elements of mental health? Where I would like to know where it's mental health and where it is autism.
Good question. So Dr. Santos can go, and then Dr. Ogoji.
Yes. Dr. Santos, please unmute. You're muted.
Or maybe Dr. Ogoji can go first. Where's Dr. Santos?
No, he was muted. Dr. Santos, you were muted.
I'm unmuted myself.
Yes.
Yeah. He asked a question about autism. Autism spectrum disorder is a developmental condition that affects communication, social interaction, and behavior, with symptoms varying widely among individuals. The autism spectrum disorder is a neurodevelopmental disorder characterized by difficulties in communication and interaction, and most of it is that with at a certain age.
Your audio is
breaking up again.
Audio.
Dr. Santos, you're breaking up again.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a neurodevelopmental disorder that occurs typically with children and is discovered with children within school age and above. When they're still very young, it's very difficult to learn a diagnosis on that. It usually begins by identifying the child behaving in a way that is abnormal in speech development, abnormal in behavior, and abnormal with interaction with others, abnormal in learning. Before autism spectrum, they often give a diagnosis. We often give a diagnosis of neurocognitive impairment and developmental delay. So, and then when the child is growing up, we observe the behavior again further, and then we may learn a diagnosis of autism at about the age of 10 going up, because then we are clear that the symptoms are very visible. So autism spectrum is also a mental disorder, but a category that is in the early lifespan development. Because, you know, we classify mental illnesses in terms of different eras in the development of human being. And this falls within the youthful era of development of the mental health developmental disorders. Unlike in old age, also we have dementia. Dementia falls within the older age, the older span. So autism spectrum falls within the younger span. So that's how I can answer that question. Thank you.
Dr. Ogoji? Dr. Ogoji, yeah, if you have anything to add.
Okay, so what's the question again?
I think he was asking if autism is part of mental health.
Okay. Yeah.
Dr. Jing, am I correct?
Yeah. So autism is not really mental health. It's some type of brain disorder during development. However, it manifests itself with mental health symptoms. Some kids with autism are very aggressive. Agitation, that's mental health. Some have severe depression, that's mental health. Some of them cannot even speak and engage, antisocial activity. In fact, it's mostly communication and antisocial activity. They have problem with communication and social interaction. So kids with autism tend to focus on the things they like doing. They don't care about people. They don't actually notice people around them and focus on that only. Sometimes they actually develop. Sometimes develop destructive behavior like head banging.
Exactly.
Self-trauma, biting. So autism itself is not a mental health disorder, but it manifests with various forms of mental disorder. There are various spectrum of the various severity of autism spectrum disorder. There's what we call high functional autism, which is very mild. You know, people with high functional autism tend to do very well. If they find something they like to do, which is a very micro something, they do well there. There is non-functional, highly dysfunctional autism spectrum disorder. Those people are more like some of them actually just with a very severe case need assistance with things like feeding, eating, cooking, and take care of their
Personal hygiene.
personal hygiene and what you call activity of daily living and instrumental activity of daily living. So it depends on the degree of autism, the spectrum of autism, and then the manifestation also depends. So I have people who have very mild autism will not recognize they have it unless you engage them on some type of critical thinking.
I wanted Sister Debbie Wilburn, please, to ask a question or make a comment on the program.
She
On
did
mute, please.
already. She did, Nia Song. Let's.
I am in a convention in Delaware. I have to go. Sorry, guys. I want to just look.
Thank you,
Oh,
Dr.
good.
Goji. Thank you.
Oh, we-
My high school convention, Sabesa, is going on right now.
St. Beats.
Yes.
Enjoy.
Yes.
See, if Dr. Goji is a Cameroonian, but now the Nigerians are enjoying him more than Cameroon. Enjoy, Dr. Goji. Thank you so
guys.
much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Yeah, Dr. Santo, go ahead. Go ahead.
Exact causes of autism are not fully understood, but it's believed to involve combination of genetic and environmental factors. So we as mental health experts, we are more concerned about the cognitive, because when you talk about cognitive, we talk of IQ, intelligence quotient. Someone with autism is suffering from neurodevelopmental delay. So it means the speech sometimes is impaired, reasoning is impaired, the thinking is impaired, the IQ score is low. And that's why most of them are on the IEP, the Individualized Educational Program, which is a special track in education. So we, as child experts, we look at the high functioning and the low functioning, as Dr. Goji was saying, but we know that it is a genetic and environmental, it's genetics and environment that causes it, but we look at the behaviors. The behaviors, when behaviors are like impaired behaviors, we look at it as from the mental health angle, then we classify it as a neurodevelopmental problem, which is typical within the teenagers, the young or the early childhood disorders. So I think autism really is not a 100% mental health issue, but the effects of it and the symptoms of it does mimic a lot of mental health criteria.
Thank you, Doctor. Why is it that there is so much silence about it, about the mental health issue? Why do people not report it? Why does society tend to ignore it?
Because people, the stigma that surrounds it, in that people don't want to come in the public and say, oh, I have an autistic child. Our society tends to look at the next question will be, from who is it coming from? The mother or the father? Then now there will be problem. The mother will say, no, it's coming from your side. The father said, no, it's from your side. Look at your family. How many people are autistic in that family or this? So there's always that problem. It has even led to a lot of issues split in marriages, because I have one patient who came to me and said that she has given birth to 2 children, and these 2 children are autistic. Because of that, she decided not to give birth anymore, because she knows that if she puts to birth the third child will be autistic. And then the husband wanted another child, and she refusing, then they had to go to a decision where they have to try somewhere else to have children, and that means divorce, because they have to go elsewhere to have children. So it has really caused a lot of problems in homes, in families, having those children.
Yeah, Dr. Santos, especially on the African continent, I know that mental issues are generally in many places linked to witchcraft, which of course is something very different.
Yes. In our society, when we study the history of mental illness, especially in Nigeria and other places that happened in the 1800s, some of the children were being cast in sacrifices to the gods. Some were being given names, and when you deliver a mental health children, you give as a sacrifice or the dump in the evil forest. Those are things that happened in the past. But I think with the amount of education we have now, and the science and the interpretation and more advanced learning, we come to know, and we are having more experts now in mental health. You know, even medical doctors. Like when I did my research, I discovered that in Cameroon, where I come from, the medical doctors were told to prescribe mental health medications with reservations because there was no scientific literature to justify the medications they were given. And also they had not undergone enough studies to understand mental health medications, psychotropic medications. So medical general practitioners were authorized to prescribe it with reservations because they don't know much about it. So, but now we have psychiatrists, we have psychiatric practitioners, we have clinical psychologists and others who have studied all these things now, who can be able to impact our society. Yeah, even the medical doctors now, like Dr. Ogoji, you can see, is having also a much broader knowledge on mental health. So that's how our clinicians have to be today. We have to go into other areas and understand it better so as we can educate our society. Our parents need to man up and come in the public to say, oh, I have a child suffering from autism. I need help. Oftentimes it's the school. It's the school, even the school authorities, the special need educators who discover that some children are not performing well. They're not performing well during the early first grade, kindergarten. They see children who self-isolate, who cannot, even after 3 years, they cannot say ABC, 3 or 4 words letters. They cannot count from 1 to 10 within the expected time range. They cannot write their names, even the first name or the first letters of the name. So they begin to signal out that there's some IQ is low. It needs to be examined, needs to be evaluated for neurodevelopmental delay or autism. And most of the time is this teachers or the special educators into the parents that something is not going well, something is not adding up with this particular child. You better go for an evaluation.
In as much as that is done, many parents tend to live in denial. They assume that their child is perfect and teachers are just assuming. I worked in the school system until last year, and I came across many of those things, especially among the African and Spanish-speaking populations.
Yes, it's true. It's true. Something that they are racially treated or racially they are profiled. They're racially profiled because when they look at most of these kids coming from, especially kids who were not born in this system, who happen to have come to into this system at very, very minor ages, like between 1 to 5 years. Most of them happen to have perhaps, and then also among those population, some of them may not have had English as their first language, and the American English for that matter. So when they come here, because they are still to pick English language, move into those tracks. And in the course of time, before they will prove themselves to come back to the normal track. Within that, I think now we have educated some of those instructors, the special need instructors, that it is not one size that fits all. You don't just people because they may have them with language. They may have problem. They may be slow in doing things because of their own cultural and other cultural, religious, and other upbringings. That they need just some time to adapt to the new system. There's one thing we usually, when we're doing our diagnosis now in Axis 4, psychosocial and environmental factors, I always indicate that my client is suffering from acculturation issues. Acculturation issues. So acculturation issues now covers up that lack, that period of lack where you have to pick up now from that displacement from your own system and way of doing things into a new system that is different from just giving a diagnosis, because a diagnosis can lead to a lifetime impairment. For example, if you are diagnosed with autism, a child diagnosed with autism can never get into the military. A child diagnosed with autism can never be put behind the wheel. So you see, the thing is easy. So if you misdiagnose and put somebody in the wrong category, That's a life payment there.
That's right. And Doctor, in those days when I was in the school system, I used to always invite parents to the classroom to observe their own children during the day to see their behavior during class time, not just wait till the child comes home. So inviting the parents to school to watch the child, to observe the child is very important.
Very, very, very important, yeah, so that's good.
Mr. Jing, also, Dr. Jing? Yeah, Dr. Jing. Oh, okay, no, Dr. Santo, go ahead.
There's also what we call the IEP parent-student conference.
Yes.
The parent-student conference, where you are invited, you will sit alongside the speech pathologist, the therapist, the school counselor, and other practitioners who are working to ensure that that child meets or gets all the things that the child needs to get. Then you can, as a parent, you can ask questions. You can ask questions, and they will answer your questions. Then you are part of the development of the child academically. So you try to know if the child is outgrowing the autism, or is even getting worse.
Then, Dr. Jane, do you have something to add?
Well, the reason why I raised this question was because when I was growing up, in our neighborhood, there was a certain gentleman. This guy, there were certain seasons. This guy would become so violent that to put him in jails. Then, at other periods, like he was very normal, would function normally. You meet him, you converse, went about his business. So I don't know whether this mental thing can be seasonal or not. That's the first level. That's the first question. And the second question is, could it be placed on somebody as a curse? Because I know of another gentleman still in our district who had one time been back in the days in this Mami Wagon, they called him a collector. He was believed to have stolen somebody's goods. And then that guy placed a curse on him. He became crazy. And, like he would go around eating from, dumpsters and, things like that. So the question now is, if it's a purely mental thing, in other words, affects you physically, what kind of manipulation takes place? I know this is something that we should be asking a wizard, not an academic like Dr. Santos. So what happens when they say they place a curse? Does it go down and disrupt, like the mental process, or what's happening? You see, these are because we come here, we look at things. The approach we take to some of these issues is very, very Eurocentric. You put somebody in Africa, the challenges are so enormous. There are many things the person cannot solve. And if you are going by textbook definition of things and so on, how will throw challenges at you? There will be too many curveballs thrown at you. So,
yeah, Dr. Jim, thank you very much. We're coming up to the top of the hour, but before we go, Dr. Santo will respond to that. We have 2 minutes, Dr. Santo.
Okay, my brother, I will start with the first question. The first question about the seasonal madness or the seasonal craziness. Growing up to say that time for this money craze don't come. All of us when we were growing up, we used to have that. Look, what they were saying is that at a particular time, that person is manifesting those symptoms of abnormality that people were able to see. Among all my mental health diagnoses I've studied, there is one we call residual schizophrenia. Residual schizophrenia, it's because schizophrenia is a combination of hallucination and delusion. Hallucination means you hear voices that are not there, which is auditory, or you see things that are not there, which is visual. So Then delusion is like you are living in a dream world, completely lost, out of touch with reality. So in this sense, residual are people who they're so organized. Residual or organized schizophrenia appears in the form of people who are so organized. Sometimes of the year, they may not be affected and they will not show you that they have this. And then at certain time, it will come. That's why they call them organized or residual. It resides in you, in other words. You will manifest it at a certain time. That answers your first question. So anytime you see anybody misbehaving or doing abnormal things, having those mood swings and other things and other anxiety and worry and depressed, and then maybe having what we call it manic episode and hypomanic episodes. Mania and hyper. So these are the times, because mania and hyper is also in what we call bipolar, split personality with mood swings and depression. So
okay, Dr. Santos, I'll call on our chair to come in and give us the news breaks for this top of the hour. Then we'll come right back.
Dr. Santos, please get some more water. Thank you so much. You know, your sins have been forgiven for the 2 shows that you didn't show up. But and Dr. Jing, thank you for that question. It looks like Dr. Bill dropped, but hopefully he'll be back maybe in the near future. So I am actually on my phone and I'm streaming. Our co-anchor is not here, so we're not going to play the anthem. Normally at the top of the hour, we play the anthem and then make the announcements. But I'm going to just go ahead and make the announcements. Next week, we're going to the month of July. We are going to be discussing freedom and independence next week. That's what we're going to be discussing. So I want to invite all of you to come back and talk about freedom and independence. We know freedom is not free. So Nia Song, you can frame it the independence of freedom, or however. I mean, you are a master at this, so you frame it however you see fit. But on another announcement, our sister organization, Africa's Brain Bank, is having its 6th annual summit and charity ball in New York City Labor Day weekend. We are going to be providing solutions for Africa's biggest problem, which is brain drain. Invite all of you to register and show up and be transformed. We are also going to be giving out some awards. Nia Song is one of the people that we're going to be honoring. Those of you from Cameroon, I'm sure, you know, if you're more than 30 years old, you should know the name Asong Van Kemleke. But we are honoring him for his volunteer work, you know, and he's been on this program from day one, you know, just like myself, and we are all volunteers. Plus, he does other things in the community. So, if you watch our inaugural event, you will see him there. We did compile a book, volume 1. We've not had a chance to do more than that, of his editorials on this program. I named the book Africa's Brain Power. It's available on Amazon. I did the preface and I edited the book. His editorials are unmatched and unparalleled. He's been doing, okay, he has the book, the Africa, See How Beautiful the book is, so you can get a copy. And he has some, please bring some to New York when you come. So I'm going to post the link on the chat box for those of you who don't have it to click and register. Dr. Crossley, we still need you to get your networks to participate in New York. Like I said, we're not going to play the anthem today. So Nia Song, I'm going to go back to you. Actually, let me just say a couple of things. While I was in pharmacy school, I worked with autistic children.
I'll be right back.
Okay, I also work with mental health. Back then in the 80s, they were calling it mental health and mental retardation, but they don't use mental retardation anymore. I mean, I work with MHMRA in Houston, but now they don't use that MHMRA stood for mental health and mental retardation. but I think the name mental retardation was kind of condescending, so they dropped that. So I'm glad nobody's talking about mental retardation anymore. But you'll be surprised as to how smart some of these autistic kids are. One of the things I want to mention, Dr. Santos, is some of those children, their family neglect them. Once they put them in a group home or in a system, some of the parents barely come to visit. But if you notice that the children with mental health issues, it doesn't matter which part of the spectrum, that have family love or who even stay at home or get family involvement, they fare better than those that are totally dependent on care from strangers. Dr. Santos, am I right or wrong? Dr. Santos, are you there?
Absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct.
So what have you seen on your practice?
Yeah, most of the autistic children we call, that's why Dr. Ogoji spoke about high functioning and low functioning. Functioning ones, and most of them are good at things that you need time to discover. Example, I've watched some of them are the best athletes. I think in Africa we used to call the swimming athlete from Maryland who won the gold medal for swimming. Mike Fish or something, Fish.
Oh, Michael Phelps.
Yes, Phelps, yeah. He used to be. And then some very intelligent people, even leaders, political leaders. And the fact is that they may not be gifted in the talent of writing or in the talent, but may have other talents in other areas. Our rockets, most of people forget our cars, they are good at music, they are good on computers, and they are good at all. Principally, the special need educator will be, and the team, the collaborative team with the parents, will be working hand in hand to identify the areas of strength of that individual. Because it's not all of us who are good writers. It's not all of us who are good speakers. It's not all of us who are good readers. But we can be good manufacturers.
Yeah, some of those that I worked with, that was in the late 80s, you know, there was one of them always banged her head on the wall. The other one, her parents were actually very wealthy. They own an oil well in Houston. And that was their only child. Because when she came out of that, they decided not to have any more kids. This one was always exercising, always jumping, you know, just moving from one spot to the other. I mean, she could not, she was restless, you know, so, and it was just sad, you know, it was just sad because they're totally in the care. There were about 4 of them in that house, in that group home. But I think only 1 or 2 of them had visits from their family members. And I think that did not help because even though they may have mental health issues or autism, they know who their family members are.
They know. But as we were saying, all of them are not like in the same category.
No, they are not.
There are some that will hum, some hums.
Yes.
Hums. Some would drool, like saliva coming out of the mouth.
Yeah.
The tongue out. Some will be humming, like every minute they need to make a lash noise. A lash. But some do not do that. Those who are high functioning do not do that. And then those who are high functioning, they will have like personal hygiene and other things. They can be able by themselves, dress up by themselves, can lace a shoe, can lace their shoe, can tie their belt, you know.
Actually, Dr. Santos, we had 2 of them that were dating from in the same company, another house. The guy was going to college and the girl was in high school. And these were high functioning, but they were not staying at home. They were in the other group home, yes.
Yeah. So we do not place them in the same category at all. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad they came up with that spectrum because it would not be healthy for the high functioning ones to be put in the. I think back then they were calling those low functioning ones level 6. I don't know if it's changed or not. That was a long time ago, decades ago when I worked with them. But let's go back to Sister Debbie McCormick. Do you have any comments or further questions, Sister Debbie? Kindly unmute yourself.
Yes, she has to unmute.
Debbie McCormick.
Oh, Your Highness, thank you so much. Because of time, I'm just going to pause and pass the microphone to any other person on the platform who has not yet made any comments, because if I talk, it will take too much time of our speakers.
No, we own the airtime, Sister Debbie. We own the airtime, so don't worry about that. We'll get everybody. If you have any comments, fine. If not, don't worry about that. Everybody has spoken. We had Dr. Bill on, but he left before we got a chance to give him the mic. So
thank you so much. Thank you so much, Your Highness. I listened to everyone, and it's really sad to see Dr. Ogoji leave, but I never went to secondary school, but if he is supporting St. Bede's, that's where my younger brother went. And I spent all my little dimes in sending him to school.
wow.
Why am I saying this?
No, Dr. Ogoji was born in Bamenda. He's a Cameroonian. He was a Cameroonian born by Nigerian parents.
There were so many of them like that, says Your Excellency, in my church, and my first boyfriend was one of them. She died in a car crash before I ever got to know anything about life. But that being said, we knowing about the male, female, and everything, we were told it's good to educate your brother and not yourself. So we had to sell bitter leaf and jama to educate my younger brother, who went to St. Bede's.
Wow.
So they're now celebrating, and everybody's asking me, which school did you go to? Why are you not celebrating your anniversary? I can't go in public talking about that. But the issue here is, I have talked to him to try to educate all the male that he has in his life, including his son, about the importance of the mental health of everyone, especially the young men, because they feel that they know it all, but who is behind that? A strong father. If the father is there, the father should educate. So you, as my brother, Dr. Santo, I know you have boys in your family who are as young as my nephews, who do not even come to this forum to listen, who will not even care to listen and do not want to listen because they think that we're old and senile. So we have no brains to share our experience with them. How do you think we can reach out to that group of individuals that we know are vulnerable to the mental health? And I'm saying this because I have a lot of them all over. Some of them are, oh, Jesus, I feel like crying.
No, don't do that. Sister Debbie, it's okay. And this is therapeutic for you. But before Dr. Santos answer that, don't get frustrated. All hope is not lost. What our motto here at Africa Online is awareness, solution, and progress. We raise awareness about these issues. We've been doing it for 9.5 years. In 9.5 years, it was only twice that we didn't have a program because all three of us were indisposed. But for 9.5 years, we have done this, and every last Sunday of the month, we do a health topic. Before Dr. Santos gives you a clinical response, you can always intercede for them in prayer, but also share this video. I put the YouTube link on the chat box. Share it with them. They will watch it. Over to you, Dr. Santos.
Yeah, Miss Debbie. Fortunately, we are administrators appointed by the phone of Gwen, the diaspora. She's serving with the Minister of External Relations. and I am serving as the representative for all the administrator for all the sons and daughters in the diaspora. We have a forum of about 2,000 people. What is the first thing I do is I share it there.
Good.
Other social media handles that I share, and when we do these discussions, we don't do it keep in our lockers. We share it later on, and then we try to reach out to them, try to watch this. When we go back home, we try to talk to our children. We try to talk to our family groups where we belong about the importance of mental health. The stigma that used to go with it, we have to try to de-escalate it. We try to change the witchcraft notion, which before this program ended in the first phase, before we came to the second phase, the other speaker was asking about the witchcraft aspect of it. We tell him that in the course of doing my doctorate research, which was on challenges of assertive community treatment with schizophrenia patients in Nigeria, I happen to have written on the witchcraft notion. And I asked my white professors, should I deny the witchcraft notion in mental health, or should I accept it? Should I deny the African approaches through prayers in the mountains up to the use of folklore therapy and the offering of sacrifices to the gods? Should I deny the use of traditional herbs and all other incantations that have helped these patients before the advent of modern psychotherapy and modern psychopharmacology? These questions I asked my white professors. They say, to deny it, it means that African does not have a history of mental health. It means that you have refused, that the African treatment was totally wrong and did not help nobody. So it will be taking away the rich history of Africa. We have to leave it there. At least they treated 3 out of 10 patients and they failed with 7, and that is good. To deny that witchcraft does not exist is to take us away now from psychotherapy and from the literature of medical field, and to get us into studying maybe metaphysics or spiritualism. Witchcraft exists to those who knows that witchcraft exists, and to the witch doctors themselves, they believe in what they believe. But for us, we want to tap the good things that they were able to, tap out from their practices. Did they at least manage the mental health situation up to the period of time that psychotherapy and medication movement came in? Yes, they did. So that is their own history that we cannot deny from them. We'll keep on doing the good work of trying to demystify, trying to de-escalate the stigma that comes to it. We'll be doing our best gradually, in spite of the insults. Some of us will still take, they say, all mad people, they are also mad people.
And we'll continue to sensitize by doing this program. We'll continue to sensitize them and share. And Dr. Santos, please post this broadcast in your forum, in all your forums. Post it there, because you reach people that we're not able to reach on our social media handles. We want to encourage everybody to share it. Please, it's important. Over to you, Niasom.
Thank you very much. And now we're heading towards the end of the program. But Dr. Santo, if there are things you want to share on the chat group, go ahead and put them in the chat. If not, I think there is this general need of awareness, because we tend to think that men's mental health is only limited to the men. But what about the women in their lives? Should they be able to notify the public or notify experts on what is going on with their loved ones?
Yeah, Niasom, just a minute. Dr. Santos, please put your information on the chat box, the information that you want the public to have, not your social security number. But, and also, if there's any helpline for mental health, especially for men, please put it in the chat box. you know, and also if you have a website, put it on the chat box. We really truly appreciate you. When you joined the show, you were not Dr. Santos. So we saw you through your doctorate program. I don't know if you already had your master's, but I know for sure because the day you graduated, we congratulated you, we celebrated with you, you know, so we are so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I will share more information as soon as the show is over.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. That's good. Okay, Dr. Crosslin, please. I know we're not doing the round of the table, but you are still with us, and you may have a question on your mind that you wanted to ask Dr.
Well, let me ask Dr. Crosslin a question. Sure. Dr. Crosslin, you founded Mr. DC,
Yes.
and as Miss Virginia Senior World, you work with a lot of men. Have you noticed, besides the brothers that were eyeing you the other day, but have you noticed any mental health issues with any of the men you work with? You don't need to name their name, but just the issue if you've noticed any.
I understand how Miss Debbie wanted to cry. I want to cry.
It's okay.
Please.
The men, a lot of them suffer in silence. And the current reigning Mr. DC, I think he attempted 7 times and before God delivered him. And so his platform is youth empowerment. The first Mr. DC worked for the United States president, so obviously he had a healthy mental health. But that still doesn't mean that he didn't suffer something in silence. And that's what I wanted to ask the Dr. Santos isn't everyone born with something and it just shows up at different levels at different times? Because even someone who's born with a silent disability, like say autism, and that's how we learned about autism here in the DMV was from Mr. DC, because the First Lady of the United States, the president's wife, wore the autism T-shirt in their awareness commercial on the autism spectrum. And so for us here in the DMV, that's a really big deal because we support so many different mental health platforms. Me, myself, I just got a certificate from attending a 3-day class, and it's called Mental Health CPR. So there's a lot going on with the guys at Mr. DC. The second year's Mr. DC, his platform was also mental health. So here in the DMV, we are aware, and we get out. We try to help everybody. And we do the Narcan, we do the fentanyl awareness, the domestic violence. We are out there, boots on the ground, literally, fans in our hands, where them fans at, making sure that everybody's voice is heard. And we pass laws, we support legislation. But my question to Dr. Santos is, isn't everybody born with something? Thank you.
Yes. Very, very excellent question. Very excellent question. Everybody is born with something. Yes. If you have heard about there is no health without mental health, it means all of us have an iota of mental health in us. It only becomes of concern when it interferes with the things that you have to do. Okay. In lifespan development, our life on earth has been divided into various areas, various spans. And in each particular span is an accompanying list of diagnoses or challenges that you face as a human being or a human organism will face. For example, so far as we are alive, there's what we call phases of life problems. Phases of life problems. When you get married, you have particular problems of marriage. For example, when you are a baby, when the mother delivers a baby, after that and faces a crisis, we call it postpartum. Postpartum. Children are born. Amongst them, some are high functioning, some are low functioning, some have neurocognitive development, some come out with different other diagnoses that are not possibly mental. They come with different signs and symptoms in different shapes. The mother is undergoing her own issues, the child has also his own issues. When we get a certain midlife, there's what we call the midlife crisis. We face it. When we get to old age, we face dementia, Parkinson's disease, and other things that are common within that age bracket. So what we do as psychologists or as experts in the mental health is to split these spans of life and see the kind of problems that accompany teenagers, crisis teens, what they face within that life. They have their own diagnosis. Hyper, the manipulators, they are trying to experience other things at puberty and others that have its own tool, trying to give a first test on alcohol, a first test trial perhaps on drugs and other things. I'm saying there's something always going on. There's something always going on. So you are right to say that all of us have something going on at one particular time or another. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Sister Debbie Weber, have something to say before we take a round of the table?
She can just give her last word. We don't have much time.
Okay, please just give us your last words. Thank you.
This was a really good program. It gave some insight into the differences in autism and mental disability. I have a grandson who is on the autism spectrum, and he's high functioning. He doesn't like loud noises, and he will run from them. Other than that, he does pretty well. So it's good to know that there are different levels, because like you said, some people take it and it's like a stigmatism, mental illness, autism, all the rest. People look at it as something wrong, something bad, but it's just something that we all go through, and we go through it differently. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sister Debbie, and we'll see you next time. Dr. Crosslin, please, your last word as we wrap up for today.
It is a very wonderful program today. Every program that Dr. Pam has is always wonderful. And
Thank you.
yes, thank you. And we all learn so much, and just happy to be here and learn and listen. And I'm excited about next week. Hope to see you, Dr. Santos.
Yeah, Dr. Crosslin, my birthday is next month also. So
yes, ma'am. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you too.
Dr. Jane, your last word as we wrap up the show for today. Unmute, please. Unmute, please. Yeah, there you go. Your last word.
Oh, well, I just to appreciate, all those who made this happen. And as I said, this is my first participation, and I will be participating. Henceforth I will continue to participate in, the activity.
Awesome. Niasong,
Thank you very much. Yes.
I will be speaking with you and Ambassador Lisa. We will have to. Dr. Jing is very innovative. We will need to schedule him, find somewhere to put him before the end of the year. where he can come and talk about the wonderful projects that he has that would educate our people. So we'll talk about that later.
We look forward to that. We look forward to that. And I wanted to call on Debbie McCormick, please, if you're still with us, unmute and give us your last word.
Thank you so much, Nelson. Thank you, Your Majesty. And I want to appreciate all my brothers and sisters who've spoken in the program, and we look forward to the next session. Appreciate you all. Blessings for the day.
Thank you very much, and stay calm, stay strong, please.
Oh, yeah.
See you again. Dr. Santos, the ball is in your court now. Play it as well as you can.
Thank you very much, everyone, my African online family.
That's right.
I promise to come again and again. I hope you guys are not going to hear from me that I'm absent. I'm always making because my for 2 sessions has caused a lot of damage. So I'm going to do the repairs. It was just because of high stake commitments going in and out.
No problem.
And I promise to be with you guys and to give the best that I can give at all the time. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Santos. Thank you.
Please. Yeah, Your Highness.
Yes. I
want
to thank I'm sorry?
I said I changed your order because you should have spoken before.
That's okay.
Go ahead.
The show is unscripted, remember?
Yes, please.
So, Dr. Santos, thank you so much. We are so proud of you and for everything you do and all your sacrifices or the educational materials you share, not just on AfricaOnline, but around the globe and different platforms. I know you shared some stuff on the forum, so we are so proud of you. I want to thank Dr. Crosslin, our 2 sister Debbies, for coming, and Unia Song, and to all our viewers. We are here every Sunday from 4 p.m. to 5:30 Eastern Standard Time or 3 to 4:30 Central Standard Time. Check your time zone. We are here. The link is the same. Next week, we're going to be talking about freedom, either the independence of freedom or however this journalistic legend, Mr. Songlefan Kemleke, is going to frame the topic. So we invite everyone to join in and share what you know about freedom or what you think about freedom. Thank you so much, and happy 4th of July to everyone.
Thank you very much, everyone, for coming and for participating. We look forward to seeing you in subsequent programs. True strength in men's mental health comes from seeking support, not suppressing pain. So please, we look forward to that. And freedom is not freedom. Independence is not free independence, especially on the African continent, because they say they give independence, but they come back through the back door and they take everything away. That said, watch us next Sunday. Be part of us. Freedom, independence, freedom. How do we put it? We shall see. Thank you very much. Enjoy the Sunday.
Thank you.